We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Oh my God, are we done crashing yet? Why were we crashing to begin with? We're going to go over some of these things. People talk about the trade war as one of the reasons why there was a lot of crypto volatility. I don't think that's true. I think people just kind of woke up to the fact that everyone said, you know what? I don't think it's the president of the United States' job to pump our bags. Then people got very levered long. Now the question is, the news is more or less out about how the sovereign wealth fund and digital asset fund is going to work. Will people get disappointed or will crypto start turning to looking at macro reasons why crypto should go up, like the fact that the dollar is lower, that gold is up only, and that stocks stink, right? I mean, Fidelity bought Ethereum yesterday. Good for them, right? In other words, the equities world may allocate to crypto. So those are the reasons why crypto would do well. Now, reasons crypto might not do well is, I thought we were building Web3, not giving BlackRock a contract to rebuild sections of the Middle East. I thought it was, it's like I thought it was XRP and it's something else, right? So, there's a mixed message. And I think every day that crypto holds it together, frankly, is a good day. Right? You may see some spot buyers give up. We saw a headline of a congressman, liquidating and giving up. Bigger picture, I think the message of gold is that crypto eventually follows. Any price action that we have, if it's down, if it is, it's because of, we got delusional about the government pumping our bags when the government's job is to buy the best assets for the government, right? Is to get assets that will appreciate or assets that help develop Web3 over time. Okay. So altcoins, Web3, left by the side of the road. I don't think that's right. I don't. And I think if there's no downside event in crypto in the next 3 days, it's all clear. Now, is it all clear for up only? I don't know. But it could be all clear from this massive levered liquidation nonsense that's, left a mark on everybody, right? Everybody's now, every time it goes down, everyone's going to be like, I don't think we have that, but you could have a weird 48 hours while people digest what's been said. Now, on that note, what has been said is okay. We didn't think they were going to have a sovereign wealth fund. Those things can be gigantic, Sovereign wealth funds in countries like Norway and Saudi Arabia are enormous. So they got a lot of room to go multi-asset in a sovereign wealth fund, particularly if they're doing things like putting Solana or XRP into an ETF. And of course, they've got the existing Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So there's good news out there. And I think Bitcoin follows gold. I mean, Bitcoin followed gold last time, right? Last year, Bitcoin did nothing for 3 months while gold went up only. And then gold stopped in the fourth quarter after the election and crypto went straight up. So is it all bad? No, not at all. Matter of fact, on balance, I think it's probably all good with the DeFi sector about to lead because, financial innovation has been authorized. And I think the administration and the sovereign wealth fund will want to invest in new forms of money and new forms of finance. Like Ondo and Ohm are kind of at the top of the list. It's like, this guy from Cantor Fitzgerald and these legacy guys, DeFi and real world assets will make sense to them. It will. So if crypto doesn't have ridiculous volatility to the downside in the next, say, 48 to 72 hours, we could be in the clear. And even if it is, I don't know, even if some reason does come up for them to sell it again, I just got to think that that's going to be a good level to get involved. Because again, if there's the next problem that happens in capital markets, it'll be equities. Like crypto already got all beat up. It's like we did the whole crashing for the first half of the year in 2 days. Good. I got that out of our system. So, it may look blah, right? You're like, oh, how's this going to recover? But it doesn't have to go up only. It just has to be stable. And if it is, it's good. It's good because the news out there is decent. Although, I do have one thing about the Middle East to make fun of, but we'll see. Diogo is here. Alexandra, welcome from Europe. Huber's Ranch, SGSG, Hornet 919. Old Smoky, Tim Gonzalez, Arendam, Miguel, welcome. Zav, Cepedas, Iggy, Maxwell, Steven, Taz Pinball, David. Not sounding too sure, Bill. Are we cooked? Bro, we are not cooked. We are not cooked. The only uncertainty is over the next 72 hours. That's all. That's it. Right? And, probably the best thing you can think of is not think about the next 72 hours. Like if you have something in your portfolio and you know why you like it, good. Leave it there. Next 72 hours, you just have to live with the aftermath of whatever. But at the end of the day, dude, gold is not going to $4,000 with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana and XRP doing nothing. They're devaluing the dollar. So I'm good. I'm good. Just that when you run a daily show, you got to try to navigate the intraday, the day-to-day volatility. You don't want to be like, oh, it's all clear, and you don't know. You don't know. But hey, dude, I'm not selling. I'm if anything, dude, I'm buying DeFi if it goes down again. Right. And we know what meme coin I'm just, gaga in love with. We'll talk more about that. Okay, so if I can just stop for a brief moment, and just make fun of something. Look, I get it. We don't want people hurting each other in the Middle East, but I thought this was like make America great again. Let's build Web3, not build cities overseas. That's what I thought. But you know what? I'm glad the market didn't go down on this because I was like, oh my God. We thought we were getting a Web3 announcement and we're getting this. I was like, ugh. But the market's fine. So good. Moving on. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways to look at the announcement yesterday about the digital asset reserve and sovereign wealth fund. Okay, so that was the guy who announced it was David Sachs. I think it was very careful about what he said. He tried to be as constructive as possible. I knew he wasn't going to just come out and give the market this, oh, wow, look, we're going to just pump your bags and we're going to buy everything. They weren't going to do that. They were going to stretch this positive news out over time so that they have ongoing catalysts to keep the crypto market moving higher. And that's the best news of the day. They didn't just come out and said, well, we're doing all this stuff and have all this good news, have like a good news dump, and then have the market sell the news. What they're doing is now they're stretching it out, which I think is constructive. Even though the market threw a tantrum in advance that it didn't get what it wanted, the fact that they're stretching the news out, I like it. Okay, so it's heavy on Bitcoin. So that they're doing the Bitcoin strategic reserve in some way. And again, the states are already doing it. They're going to have a discussion about the sovereign wealth fund. I think the discussion is who runs that? Like, where does it get run out of? Is it the Fed, the Treasury? I know they don't want it at the Fed. That's why they're creating it. Okay. the timeline is probably going to be up to Senator Cynthia Lummis, right? Who is like giga pro Bitcoin. He expects America First rhetoric with the sovereign wealth fund. So obviously they're going to be investing in Made in America. And my argument is they should take all these Made in America cryptos with XRP and Algorand and maybe Solana and put them all in one ETF and let the sovereign wealth fund buy the American made ETF. It's as simple as that. And that's what they're going to do. That's the easiest thing for them to do. Like, the thing about the sovereign wealth fund that is bullish for crypto. So if crypto stabilizes, people will start realizing that it's just going to be way easier for them to buy truckloads of crypto ETFs rather than having to custody crypto. Now, they do great, right? But it will be a lot easier to just do it all through ETFs. So that means these grayscale products. And that means, Wall Street is going to want to mushroom crypto ETFs. They're going to want to have tons of IPOs in the crypto space because that's how they boost innovation. It's like, okay, you got an IPO? Awesome. We'll buy it. We'll buy it. I mean, they're not opposed to taking risk. I mean, every global central bank spent 10 years or 12 years buying government bonds, most of them in Europe with negative interest rates. And then their bond portfolios got destroyed when the Fed hiked rates 500 basis points. So that's the central banks. So I think a sovereign wealth fund is okay with taking risks because if the central banks can gamble and lose, then the sovereign wealth fund can do it. But I think that's going to be about crypto ETFs, honestly. And then they said no XRP. All right. So XRP, I think every day XRP holds it together is a good day. I didn't think they were coming out the first day. I mean, like, yeah, we're pumping XRP. I know that's what people wanted, but that's not what happened. And XRP is okay. And that's good, which means the tantrum happened before the event. Now, sovereign wealth plans, 90 days, crypto plan, 170 days. So again, they want excitement and anticipation over what happened. And the tantrum over everyone's bags not getting pumped immediately already occurred. So it's fine. That's it. Okay, so Doge hits 1 billion per day in cuts. This moves us closer to a sustainable national debt. They're just talking about employee buyouts everywhere, right? Gold hits new all-time high. The dollar has to go lower. The only real way out of a debt crisis is to devalue the currency. And, gold goes up only as crypto goes back and forth. And we did this before. We did it before. We did it. And if someone wants to sell crypto in like the next 3 or 4 days, I'll take it from them. Just take it from them. I mean, again, you have to start differentiating now between, say, like innovative sectors like DeFi, right? Real world assets. Okay. Maybe even some of the big AI infrastructure plays like Fetch. You got artificial super intelligence token now. You got to start differentiating between that and, your straight up dog meme coin or, whatever, your super highly speculative coin, right? The market is going to go back and forth. And what the crypto market is doing, it's like playing the reality game Survivor, right? Who's going to survive? Who's going to follow gold? That's being sorted out right now. I mean, this is unbelievable, right? The intelligence community emailing its employees saying, we'll give you guys buyouts. Now, this helps crypto because this helps the dollar go lower and rates go lower over time. Okay. I think people who work for this organization are employable outside the organization. So I think there's going to be a lot of people who take these deals. A lot. Now, of course, just as a random reminder, when you do these things, the people who you want to stay, leave, and the people who you want to leave, stay. That's always the way these things work. All right. But I would also say that in the beginning, like when, say, a company like IBM does a massive downsizing. I remember that. Like IBM used to be like the size of, it used to be the size and the importance of like a Microsoft. It used to be like the big tech stock. You know, when they had to downsize that company, everybody was getting 6 months pay on the way out the door. Like the first wave got huge packages. The last wave, they were lucky if they got 2 weeks. And I knew guys that had to do the layoffs and the managers who had to tell people, and they said they couldn't take it anymore. So these things start off with people getting packages, and it ends with just everyone getting cleared out with 2 weeks pay. So I think the lesson of this, if you're wondering what it is, these guys say that they're doing something. You better believe they're doing something. And this shock over the weekend where the market got completely wrecked, you can tell from that press conference that they were very careful about what they said and how they said it, because they cannot have a capital markets train wreck while Elon is doing these cost cuts, right? And I think if the market's okay in the next 72 hours, it's okay. Okay, so the European Union doesn't want to be on the wrong side of the orange man, because I guess the whole world thought he was kidding. I mean, I did it on the show. Everyone thinks this guy is kidding, and he's not. He's not. I mean, you know, you blow the guy's ear off, and, you know, he's going to get in power, and you think he's kidding. He's not. Right? Trump's crypto czar says golden age is coming. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Question is, how does it happen? How does it happen? I think it's pretty clear that they may be thinking like clear innovation. And if these guys are all financial market dudes, you know, what would a financial market dude understand? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, you know, is it interoperability? I would think so, right? It's like, I keep thinking about, I call it Zion from Multi-Coin Capital, right? This whole thing about connecting blockchains. They got to get connectivity, and, you know, BlackRock may start making announcements. Like BlackRock, you don't think excuse me, let me rephrase this. Like BlackRock probably knows what these guys are going to do before they do it. 1, 2, they definitely know what they're going to do as it happening, because they're going to be relying on BlackRock to advise them, right? They don't know anything about this. They're going to go to BlackRock and be like, okay, what information do you have? Or Coinbase, but probably BlackRock. You know, like BlackRock knows a lot of things about RWA. BlackRock has been studying crypto. So they're going to go to BlackRock and be like, okay, what do you guys want to do? Treasury confirms Doge has read-only access as it targets government waste. You know, it's really unbelievable to watch everyone panic. And this is a positive for crypto. Absolutely panicking that a guy like Elon Musk can run a company like Tesla and SpaceX and was going to come in and do cost cutting, and they thought he was kidding. People like protesting. It's like, hey, wait a minute. You know, I'm not here legally. I have a right to something. No, you don't, bro. No, you don't. I mean, you know, we don't want to like create human suffering, but this guy, Elon Musk, he doesn't care. He doesn't care, right? He only cares about the numbers. Now they're all worried that Elon Musk is going to stop, I don't know, the treasury from paying people, and they have to tell everybody to calm down. These guys are not fooling around. So when they say they're doing digital assets, when they say they're doing made in America, frankly, the last week have been surreal and clumsy, weird, right? The market just kind of, I don't know, it's almost like it ate something bad. But this guy's not playing around. Whatever they say they're doing, and people don't like it. Like, supposedly security had to escort somebody out who just said, you know, they told him he was not working there anymore. And he said, no, that's not true. You can't get rid of me. And security came in and took him out. So when Elon says we're doing it, we're doing it. That's it. Crypto czar David Sachs says it's possible that the sovereign wealth fund would include Bitcoin and digital assets in its portfolio. Right. Most likely through ETFs. This is the big positive thing that I think the market has to like wake up to, right? The sovereign wealth fund is not going to want to do crypto directly. They're not. They're just going to call it BlackRock, say, get all this in ETFs, call up the SEC, expedite these processes, call up Wall Street, say, get over yourself, get it done so we can start buying it. It's QE for crypto. You know, Fed prints money, sends it over to the sovereign wealth fund, and then they invest it wherever they want to invest it. It's just that it may or may not be in the super speculative areas of crypto. That said, we're done with our drama. Like, how much more drama can we have? Ethereum goes down 40% in 4 days. It's like, what are they going to throw at us now? A stock market drop? I mean, yeah, that's probably going to happen, but who cares? I mean, I don't care. I mean, I don't want to buy and have it go down 10%, but I don't care because, you know, these guys are behind crypto. Okay, so don't click on anything. Crypto malware is everywhere. The scams that I get, like I got this email from Arculus, like, oh, you're on a new list. Click on this. Okay. You know, ARK Investment latest report says Bitcoin is on pace to meet its 2030 price targets. You know, our ARK Investments is funny. Bull case, 1.5 million. Ethereum has increased its gas limit. I don't know what that means, but whatever it means, it says to reduce congestion and benefit DeFi. Listen, Ethereum's got to get its act together on DeFi. The DeFi protocols, right? The DeFi protocols can capture the money made on ETH, right? In other words, ETH DeFi doesn't necessarily benefit ETH anymore. It benefits the protocols, Uniswap, Maker, Aave, whatever. They're the ones that capture all the money. Now, I don't know how that happened, but ETH has to fix that, right? Okay, so ETH hits a new massive record for trading activity, right? So when you have a crash, nobody minds paying gas. Funny how that works, right? Coinbase urges U.S. bank regulators to remove crypto banking barriers. I think one of the under-discussed things is that the amount of money that players like Coinbase wrote politicians, the bills come and due now, right? Like Coinbase is going to want like no more of this debanking. We want, you know, banks custodying crypto. We want all these things to be happening now, especially after this crash. Like this crash helps crypto politically. It may not help the price action. It may, right? Because we've liquidated everybody. Everybody's been liquidated. So if people don't sell spot, how does it go down? It doesn't. Coinbase is going to want what it paid for when it wrote all these checks to politicians. And then I think it'd be a great idea if Coinbase and, you know, all these other exchanges, Coinbase in particular, would start listing literally everything on the Base network. If there's a tech project on the Base network that passes a basic litmus test, it should be moved up to Coinbase immediately. I don't understand what we're waiting for on that. I really don't. I don't get it. Now, again, maybe because of the correction, maybe now is the best time in the world to do it. Maybe now they're awake, and that's possible. Right? It's like, oh wow, man, we better get over whatever it is we thought we were doing. We better get people coming in here. So, I mean, again, the wake-up call is bullish crypto. It is. The gold move is bullish crypto. The fact that the administration is like, you know, going to give you like, try to feed you nuggets that are bullish over time. Yes, it's an initial disappointment, but you want ongoing news flow. Otherwise, it's just like sell the fact and that's it. You don't want that. All right, let's take a look at the charts to see what's going on. All right, so we'll start with 4-hour Lux Algo, right? Now, Ethereum is a good place to start. You had a lot of just mass liquidation, obviously, right? And it's in a balance zone. ETH really has to go back above 3,000. And I feel like I'm repeating myself with ETH. Like first I say, well, ETH has to get above 4,000. Now I'm saying ETH has to get above 3,000, right? It's like, if ETH is stable, that's good. But that said, this is not inspiring price action yet. But I think ETH can attack 3,000, right? It can get back up there. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart is still below equilibrium, right? That's this point right here. That's 100. So 100 is balance for Bitcoin. And if we sat here a little above or a little below balance, oh, that's great. 3 days of balance is bullish. Let's put it that way. 3 days of balance is bullish. Let's look at Arrow. Okay, now Arrow went all the way down to its discount zone. Like this will just tell you how much they panicked. And I don't understand why they panic in things like Arrow. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Arrow is given out as a staking reward. So that accounts for all this massive volatility when people freak out. I mean, Arrow went to its discount zone. There's a Lux Algo triangle forming. Okay. Everybody unloaded, obviously. Right. And now Arrow can go back to its discount zone at $1.07. Okay. I mean, it's that simple, right? Everything may return to balance. Now, if everything goes to balance and there's another disturbance, okay, maybe. But worst case scenario, it feels like the range in Arrow in a worst case scenario is 78 cents to $1.07. And then it just sits in this range until it can, collect itself and move on and follow gold. Because that's what the market wants to do. Now, if you look at Solana on a 4-hour chart, right? You got a beautiful Lux Algo support at 190. It's really lovely, right? They went down there and scared everybody. For what? I mean, for more or less, Solana really, if you just start stretching this out, this 4-hour chart, Solana hasn't done anything. Solana went back to where it was at the start of the election. If Solana becomes the gateway to an ICO boom or another wave of AI agent stuff, why would you sell Solana at 190? I mean, that's crazy. To me, that's crazy. Okay, so at XRP, you got wild price action. So the good news is, XRP held at around $2. I mean, it got all the way down to its discount zone. So in a way, the XRP, oh my God, disappointment trade, that they didn't step up to the microphone and said, yeah, we're pumping your bags. We're here to make your dreams come true. That trade was already done. Now, is there a case for XRP to go down? Not really. Is there a case for XRP to go up? Well, XRP has got to get above equilibrium and probably get above 267. And if it doesn't, people could get cranky for 3 days, but that's just 3 days, right? It's like, what are they going to do to us after this? Like, what are they going to do? I mean, even if the action in XRP looked something like this, even if that's what it looked like. So what, right? If you're long spot, you know they're coming in through ETFs eventually. They're coming in through ETFs eventually. That's what they're telling you. I don't think the market's figured that out yet. The market's starting to figure it out. Like, you can see Cardano start to get perky here, right? You have on the Cardano 4-hour chart, it's kind of interesting. Lux Algo, was kind of like going with it. Lux Algo, you crushed it. You had every buy signal you could think of because some of these cryptos got so ridiculously oversold. And then it started to grind its way back up. This is okay. This is good. Right? And, it's go like if we went to real world assets, like it's funny that some of this stuff is still down. Like, Ondo's not down today, but like if you look at the daily chart of Ondo, like, wow, dude, really? Like, look how much room. Ondo is at $1.41. It's sitting on this huge accumulation cone, right? So, like, there is a literal wall of support at $1.32. 215 is the premium zone, and if you want to get wild, it can go to 3. And if you don't think that Ondo can get going, I mean, BlackRock is already in here. I mean, I think this is overdone, and you probably are taking profits here in Ohm, I would think. But BlackRock has been in here, or somebody's been in here, borrowing stable coins against treasuries to buy crypto. That's why Ohm traded like this. So this has got to move into the rest of the space. I mean, Aave, if you look at Aave, this is a daily chart. It went to its 200-day moving average. How nice, right? I mean, it like reset itself back to its mean. On a perfectly nice A, B, C correction. DeFi looks great. Looks fantastic, right? And then you can start going through all this, start asking yourself, it's like, okay. What else is out there in DeFi? What about American-made stuff? What about Hedera, right? 200-day moving average. Above equilibrium. Lovely. Every Lux Algo buy signal you can think of. How nice. Now, if you go to DeMark, right? Or let's do the things we like. So, you got a U.S. congressman puking out virtual down here. Probably because he bought it up here. He's just taking the tax loss. You probably got a lot of that going on. People are just like, okay, well, I did a bad trade. Let's just take the tax loss and buy something else. I mean, if the market is choppy, that's what's going on because the levered people have all been liquidated. They're done. I mean, God, they pushed everybody out. Now it's a question of like portfolio reorganization. And I think people are going to wake up on this DeFi and RWA thing because once they get done with, like, oh, they were going to pump my bags. They're going to make this announcement. Now people are going to sit down, get real, and figure out what are they going to buy and who are they going to call for advice, right? They're not going to advise themselves. So banks and broker dealers, right? They have trading units. They have sales units. They have customized derivative units, right? They have, customized derivative units that do things like across assets. Like, I think that's what we used to call it at Goldman. We used to call it cross assets. It would be somebody who could do something for bonds, stocks, and currencies in crypto all at once. Not crypto back in the day, but it was like, yeah, we can do whatever you want to do. These groups want to put things together. And they pitched them. It's like, hey, we got this great idea. Our research department came up with this really interesting trade. Why don't you look at it? Right? Sovereign wealth funds don't do all the work themselves. They get research from Wall Street. So, I mean, do you think, I don't know, Coinbase, Kraken, all these entities are going to be talking to the sovereign wealth funds? Yeah, of course they are. So, I don't know, man. When you have people puking stuff out like virtuals, especially if somebody figures out how to make a human being AI agent, right? Somebody figures that out. I don't know. There's a lot of beat up stuff out there. A lot of people puking stuff out. Ski mask. So if you want to speculate, right? You need something speculative to break out, right? This is a daily chart of ski mask. And a breakout is not that far away, right? Like this is just the thing that we look at. Obviously, we need this thing to break above a certain level, right? So, all you need is one good breakout. And if you don't get it, okay, maybe you have to wait. How long have you been waiting in this? I mean, really? Okay, you're upset. They didn't pump your bags, whatever. So we waited in here, and then they dropped it, and they're making us wait again. This is a good chart for this thought process. I can wait, man. You know why I can wait? Because this is up only. This is up only. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to need new forms of money. Like that part hasn't changed. That hasn't been traded lately. Lately, we've just been trading like hysterical leverage liquidation. Oh my God, they didn't pump our bags. Meanwhile, the gold market and the dollar is just screaming. Okay, so my meme coin, again, these things can go to zero. You need to be aware of that. I always say that. I own this, etc. I don't know, man. We got the ghost of a popular crypto guy coming back. We got one large buyer who came in. I got an organic rhythm to it. And, you need to be aware of this. But, if you got something like this, if you did, that's golden. Honestly. It's like I'm sticking with my conviction. And that's the most important thing about this. You know what I'm saying? It's not this coin. It's like, somebody at the beginning of the show was like, Bill, you don't sound so sure. I'm like, well, dude, let me just say this. I don't know what they're going to do in the next 3 days, but I know what they're going to do in the next 3 years. Right? I know what they're going to do probably in the next 3 months. We've now learned that 2025 is going to be more difficult than 2024. So if you're going to stay in the market, you're going to stay in your positions, you got to believe in it. That's it. Period. Right? Do you believe in Bitcoin? Just go down the list. Do you believe in fill in the blank? I'm believing in what I got. And no one's shaking me out of it. Like there's some of this stuff that, I got the money allocated right. It's not the rent money, right? But, if it goes to zero, I'm going to be upset, but I'm not going to be like financially wrecked. So you set up your asset allocation correctly. You set it up to be able to tolerate the volatility. And then at the end of the day, here's the good news. If you stuck around and you put up with the pain of whatever has transpired recently, you got to stick around to get the reward, man. You got to stick around to get paid. So if they didn't shake you out, congratulations. They didn't shake you out. It's good. And I don't really care about a case of indigestion because that's to be expected, honestly. All right. So let's start by looking at the American-made cryptos, right? So, you go straight up on the election, and then you have this range period. This is Algorand. I saw this 13 bottom, and I'm like, wow, golden days are here again. And then they just sell it for a month. Crazy. This was mid-January. They sell it for a month, and they do a climax at the end. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But It's A, B, C. It's kind of almost perfect in a way. Let me put the D wave on this, right? It's perfect, right? It's just a zigzag. And you got a lot of support at 27 cents. Now, this little 6 here, that just means you could have 3 or 4 more days of blah. So what? Now, you have to be, you can't be unprepared for that. But I'll take 3 days of blah if they don't take out these lows. Who cares? Right? Hedera. Oh, man, did they wick everybody out in this thing? I mean, they took out everybody who FOMO'd in like at Christmas. Like they took everybody out who got in like when this was like super exciting at the start of December. So everyone up here is not having fun, right? Because a lot of people who bought inside the range, but it's still inside the range, right? Like the American-made cryptos flash crashed and went right back to their range. So what? I'm fine with that. I'm okay. Here's Cardano on a daily chart, right? I mean, this wick, that's incredible that you could take something this big and wick it like that. Okay. Okay. So Cardano retraces 76% of its total move. Like, what exactly are they going to do to Cardano now? What are they going to do? Oh, let's take it down to 30 cents again, like nothing ever happened in November? Come on. Charles Hoskins is going to be talking to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. He's going to be a crypto advisor. How much more damage can they do? They can't. I mean, they can, but why would they? Like, what's the case for more downside? You did a 50% retracement in XRP. To be completely honest, I thought this was, up, sideways, up, sideways. That's what I thought. But they did this instead. 3 more days of blah. Now what? What? We don't need new forms of money. Everything's okay in fiat because what? Crypto had 2 or 3 down days? No, of course not. Like now that the government is done with its announcements, right? Which in some ways I hate because everyone's like, well, it's the government's job to pump my bags. No, it's not. What pumps your bags is an economic realization that the panic cost cutting means we have a very serious debt problem. We're not the only country with a very serious debt problem. We're not the only country where you're going to have issues with banks. You're going to have issues with banks in Virginia and Maryland and wherever all these people are, right? Like the people who take the package have probably already got other jobs lined up. Everybody else, man, I don't know. But that's serious, right? That's not funny. So if you have that situation and you have lower rates and lower dollar, this helps crypto at the end of the day. That's what matters, right? That's what matters. Okay. Solana already has a 9 bottom, right? You've done extremely well in Solana getting in on 9 bottoms down here in September, down here in like late December. This was a little choppy, but you eventually got gratification, right? And even getting out on 9 tops. So we're all negative Solana because we could have 3 more days of choppy action, maybe. And then we go back to business. Gold went back to business. Gold never stopped. It was like, oh, look at these guys in crypto. Look at them go crazy. Okay. So believe in your positions, buy what you like, look at DeFi and real world assets. BlackRock is going to be advising all of these entities. They're not going to figure this out on their own outside of Bitcoin. And even in that case, they're going to need advice from Coinbase. So discussions are going to be had, right? They're going to figure out what the quality investments are. The crypto market's going to start figuring that out soon. And all the crypto market has to do is lick its wounds and heal from the crash. And, luckily, it's that simple. All right, that's the market update for today. I will see you tomorrow.